You press play on the movie and then you brace yourself. You know that the scare is coming and you can't wait. Fear wakes something up. It makes your heart race. It pulls you into this moment the way nothing else can. Across the world, humans have always played with fear. Haunted houses, horror movies, telling ghost stories by a firelight, all of them open a door. But what's on the other side? Sometimes it looks terrifying, but sometimes it looks like a part of you that you've been waiting to meet. Hi boo, it's me, your medium bestie, the Death Fairy, certified death doula, and your spirit guide to the other side. Ding! Today we're going to talk about why humans love being scared. It's me, I'm humans, I love being scared. And why fear might actually be sacred. When I was around 3 or 4, I used to live in England, and my family took me to the Tower of London. I specifically remember how it looked. I remember the pamphlet. It would have a guard beheaded on it, and he's all like, ugh. And it's like the Tower of London. And just by looking at it, you know it's got the spooky ambiance. They had the dark stone walls. You can feel the chill in the air. And the stories of ghosts and kings and queens. I remember being so intrigued. When a little kid would usually be scared, I was like, what? How? Like, I could not believe that they would lock people into a dungeon or it looked like a dungeon, it's a tower, but to me it was like a dungeon, and just let them rot. And now ghosts would haunt that area. It just sounded so interesting. I could just feel the history. The air would feel thick, but I knew that something was alive and watching. Isn't that strange about fear though? While you know something is scary, it's still like lights a spark of curiosity within you. You're like, it's scary, but science says when we get scared, our brain releases adrenaline and dopamine, and that makes our bodies feel awake and alive. Kind of like a coffee or a tea. It's like a roller coaster for your soul. And as kids, we learn fear through play. When we do something like peekaboo, literally you're hiding your face and the little baby's like, where'd they go? Where is my loved one, right? And then you go, hello, and over again. Or do you remember the little like Jack in the Box? You push him down and you turn the handle and you have no idea when he's gonna pop up. It's scary. It's scary, but it's also fun. And kids are like, when is he gonna do it? When is he gonna do it? And he pops up and then they laugh. Or they get scared, but then they'll do it again, right? Then there's tag. You're literally running for your life from somebody who's trying to get you. And I always think of, there's this app on your phone that you can download where you run away from zombies, and it teaches you to run. And like the whole time you're listening to it, it's like, oh no, there's a zombie invasion. Like, how fun is that? And then of course there are the ghost stories. I love ghost stories. I love telling ghost stories to my friends. And you never knew if they were making it up or if it was real. Or back in the 90s, we had a lot of those urban legends we would tell each other. I'm sure they still do that. And they're terrifying, but it's always like somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody experienced this, right? So in a way, it's all like interconnected. This is all safe danger. You know you're okay, but your body gets to feel that rush. It's like, and then we grow up, and some fears still stay fun, but then others take root, especially if they come from pain. And so we have to differentiate. That's why I say, like, ask yourself, where is this fear coming from? Is this a fear that lights you up, like a fun ghost story? Or is this a fear that shuts you down, like an abusive person in your life? So let's talk about safe danger. So safe danger, it's that feeling that you are scared, but you know that you're safe. Like a roller coaster. You're in a contained space. You know that the roller coaster is going to do its track and it'll be over. Or you're going to a movie theater and you're going to watch a scary movie within that movie theater, knowing there's no psychos or scary people that are going to attack you. And then you're going to come out and be like, oh, that was fun. Or for me, I love haunted houses and I love going in knowing no one can touch you. They're just going to come out and go peekaboo, literally. And then you're going to go, ah. And then the person behind is going to go, ah. And then you guys are going to keep going and rinse and repeat, you know? When I walk through a haunted house, I know it's pretend, but my heart still races. And that jolt, that racing, that reminds me that I am alive. I have a pulse. It reminds me of my humanity. No joke, when I was a little girl, I was terrified of roller coasters. Actually, I have been terrified of roller coasters until recently. I am 41. Okay, 2, I don't know. Anyways, can you imagine being scared your entire life of a roller coaster knowing that's not going to go anywhere? But it was a feeling of falling down. When I was little, I used to have this recurring dream that I slept on a giant tower of mattresses. Everything would be in black and white. The only thing I would see would be a Felix the cat clock, like with his little tail ticking, like tick, and then their little eyes go like this. And that's all I would see. And then when I looked down, I would fall off of these mattresses. And right before I hit the floor, I would wake up. And that would happen so often that I feel like that scared me from falling, which is what I hated about roller coasters. And then maybe a few years ago, before I was pregnant with my recent baby, I was with my kids, like at Knott's, and my, at the time, 12-year-old, he was not wanting to ride a roller coaster. And I'm like, you know what, I'll do it with you. Let's do it together. And I was scared and he was scared. And I rode it and I'm like, oh, that's it? That's not scary. But it's really interesting, you know, how much fear can play a role in our life. Researchers say that when you get scared in a safe environment or in a safe way, your brain will release those stress chemicals and the feel-good chemicals. Both. So it balances it out. That's why after a scary movie or when something scary happens, you laugh. You're like, ha, because you get scared in the moment and then you're like, oh, it's just a movie. Oh, it's just a roller coaster. Oh, it's just a spooky story. It's the release. Kind of like when you burp or something, I guess. The moment you're like, oh, I survived that. But don't get me wrong, real danger feels very differently. If you are with somebody who you feel is dangerous, or they are yelling at you, or they are attacking you, or anything of the sort. And I grew up with abuse and I continued on into abusive relationships, so I know this feeling well. It hits different. There's no ha 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 nervous laughter. No, you are feeling total fear, despair. Like, oh my God, what can I do? Like, you're walking on eggshells. Anything you do is like going to set off this big bomb. That's what it feels like. And your body tells you something is not right. It's going off. This is what releases like just the stress. There's none of that feel-good hormone. It's just the bad hormone, the stressful hormone releasing. That's why people can get sick when they're in such stressful situations like abusive relationships. They are not only getting the abuse from the person, but they are getting it from their own body, releasing all of this stress out. And it leads to, you know, physical, like you'll get pimples, maybe you'll overeat, maybe you'll undereat. Like your body just reacts differently. That's not going to happen with a scary movie. It's not thrilling. It's survival. Your body goes into protecting itself however it can, whether that's storing calories or releasing the stress hormones that you know, so that your brain knows, whoa, something's off. It's very, very different. Healthy fear will feel like excitement, and unhealthy fear will feel dreadful. One wakes you up, one shuts you down. And I get asked a lot, how come you're not scared of ghosts? If you saw a ghost, wouldn't it be scary for you? And it just makes me think, well, they're people, but they don't have a body anymore. They can try to spook me, like by like, you know, popping in and saying like, boo, but that's it. I'm surrounded by kids. A ghost is not gonna scare me. These kids already try hard enough to scare me. The amount of jump scares I get in this house is pretty freaking fascinating. It's fun. It makes life fun. Also, fear is a reaction. That spirit is like a presence. It's a loving person for the most part. You're not really gonna get those ghosts in your house. Your house is pretty clean. You keep lots of good vibes in there. Your house is safe because you and your loved ones who live in that house are constantly having good times in it, ideally, right? If you do need help, though, with house cleansing, I do have a free workshop in my school, Spirit Connection Made Easy. I'll leave the link down below. You can always try that out and see if that helps you. But for the most part, our houses are not haunted. So let's talk about cultural stories and fear. Every culture plays with fear differently. For example, right now, Halloween time in Mexico, it's Dia de los Muertos time. And, you know, what we think of as something scary, like a skeleton, is actually celebrated. It's shown. It's like, this is a skeleton that is neon green and pink and orange and blue, and we have it as a representation of what we believe our ancestors in spirit are doing, having colorful, beautiful parties and living their best non-life life, right? They're just like having a beautiful time. And if you watch Coco, you'll see how the spirit world looks so happy. Or if you watch The Corpse Bride, you see that the underworld, the spirit world, is so much more vibrant than our world here in physical form. So Mexican tradition, there's food, there's candles, there's color, there's music. It's a party here that we hold for our spirit loved ones. That fear of like a skeleton would turn into love. It's celebrated. We don't run from death. We welcome it home. Similarly, likewise, when I lived in Japan, they celebrated Obon, which is the same thing. It's like celebrating your loved ones who are in spirit. And instead of having colorful skulls, they will hold festivals. And these festivals, depending on the region that you live in, would go on during like autumn time or summertime, and they dance. They have a really cool little Obon Odori, which is a dance. They'll be drumming and people will celebrate their loved ones in spirit. Some even make cute little cucumber or eggplant animals out of toothpicks. They'll cut up the veggies and they'll make cute little spirit animals out of the food and display it. There'll be incense. They'll be talking about our loved ones in spirit. And it's very similar to Dia de los Muertos. It's just celebrating your loved ones, going to the graveyard, cleaning the gravestones. Yeah, a really beautiful celebration. That eeriness of what death could be turns into something that we celebrate. And just think of dancing with your ancestors. It's so cool. We celebrate them. These traditions teach us something important. Fear isn't meant to trap us. It's meant to connect us. It's meant to remind us of our humanness, our sensuality. We are human, so we can taste delicious food. We can drink delicious wine. We can feel things physically, and we can feel things internally, and it's cool. This is why it's so much fun being alive in human form. This is why our spirit chooses to come into human form, so it can feel the sensualities of the physical world. And even outside of these rituals, we do use these fear stories to teach. Think of myths, fairy tales, how they teach children, don't trust strangers. You don't know what's going to happen. Hansel and Gretel. The children didn't listen to their parents. They ran away from home. Given every story is different. They ran away because they were starving, or the parents dropped them off because they didn't have any food, whatever. They're not at home. A cannibal witch is there trying to eat them. She lures them in with candy. And what does your parent always say? Don't accept candy from strangers, right? It's been going on since, I don't know how long that story is, 1600s, 1800s. It's really fascinating how we use fear to teach. And even in modern movies, right, a hero always has to face a monster. Some adversity, some shadow, right? They're defeating that. They come home wiser. They come home stronger. They come home with respect. So now let's go deeper. Let's reclaim this fear as sacred again. Because not all the fear is fun, and some of it lives within us for years and years and years. My fear, my ultimate fear, and I still have it, and it's hard to shake off, is people. I mean, can you blame me? I was raised in a very physically, mentally abusive household, going on to become a woman, to go into physically, mentally abusive relationships after that. So it was a hard one to break away from. I've broken away from that, but I still hold the fear of people. I mean, as a child, for 12 years, I was beaten and belittled. That kind of fear doesn't just go away overnight. It sticks deep, like gum. And even as an adult, it would show up in my dreams. And it definitely shows up in my body and how I trust people. But over time, through therapy, through spirit work, through learning how to love myself and trust myself again, that fear has really diminished. Only because I've started to understand that people who hurt people are scared of themselves. There's no other explanation. We are not going to hurt somebody if we are feeling good. If we are like living our life, we're in our own world, we're having a good time. People who hurt people are hurt themselves. And it doesn't make it okay. It's not like, oh, they're just hurting. No, that's not an excuse. But it did help me realize that the fear was not my fault. And just realizing that really freed me. It gave me my own freedom. And that's when my fear became sacred. It stopped being a monster and became a messenger. Psychologists call this shadow work, and it just means meeting the parts of you that are hiding. And then when you shine a little light in there, you'll get to see it. And from what I've learned from shadow work, very opposite of what people teach, which is very scary. Be careful out there with Instagram and TikTok with all the people just saying things without understanding. Shadow work is not bad or good. It's literally seeing what's been hiding within you and saying hi to that person, to that shadow. You're not banishing it, like, go away. You're not embracing it, like, oh, come here. You're just saying, hi, I see you. I know you've been hiding this whole time. I am so sorry that life has been so hard for you. And it's learning to be compassionate to the shadow. That's really it. Because it's not like the shadow wants to be alone. They want that attention again. They want to be part of you again. They are part of you, but they're the part of you that's been hiding. And I think of like Frozen with Elsa. She has to hide her powers, right? She's just got to put gloves on all the time. You don't want to treat your shadow like you were treated badly by somebody who hurt you. You want to say, hey, you want to act like a mother or a father to them. Like, come here, tell me, what's up? Why are you hiding over there? You want to talk about it? Listen to your shadow. And through love and through awareness, the shadow will just reincorporate back into you and just be more a part of you. Be less of a shadow and be more of your beautiful spirit. So how will you honor your fear? Will you listen to it? Will you breathe with it? Will you talk to it? If you're scared of death or spirit work, it's okay. We were raised to be scared of this. So have compassion for that piece of yourself that is scared. If you think spirit work has to do with demonic possession, it's okay. Remember where this came from. This isn't from you. You were born this really beautiful spirit-led being. And then with, other people's fear, you learned that, oh, this is scary. But just hold that compassion for yourself. It takes time to unlearn all of that. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to give yourself time. And honestly, just seeing your shadow is a really big step. And then start small. Ask yourself, what about this really scares me? Try to understand what this shadow is. And then what might this fear be trying to tell me? See the shadow, ask the shadow. Fear is never random, and it points to what matters most. And it protects the places that still need love. So if you're scared of people, like me, you're probably just protecting your heart space, right? And just have some, again, compassion for your body, for your energy, for doing this for you. We love being scared because it reminds us that we're alive. We can connect to our body and to our soul. And it wakes up this ancient wisdom. Safe fear, like the kind we choose, is like practice for the big fears in life. Change, death, loss. And then when you invite fear in gently, it becomes your teacher, not your enemy. So next time you feel your heart racing in a haunted house, or you choose to watch that scary movie, just remember that fear reminds you of your humanness, of your aliveness. It's your body's way of saying, hi, I'm here. And next time fear shows up in your healing journey, instead of running away or hiding from it, just say, hi, I see you. What do you need me to know? You might be surprised what it says back to you. Fear, death, spirits are not these scary entities. They are all a part of your evolution. So tell me, boo, in the comments down below, what fear has stayed with you the longest? And what do you believe that it might be trying to teach you? I know mine was fear of people, and it's just teaching me to love myself again, unconditionally. If you want to explore this more or other energy work, please join my free community, Spirit Connection Made Easy. Mentioned it earlier, link is down below, where we talk all things spirit all day long and how you can really connect to your spirit love and turn this fear into a beautiful teaching moment. And don't forget to subscribe for more truth, tea, and spirit talk with your medium bestie, the Death Fairy. Spirit is calling. Will you answer the call? Ding!